Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome back to the Sex, Drugs, and Jesus podcast. Mwah, 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 mwah. Yes, hell's fucking yeah. Hallelujah, tabernacle, and praise. And today on this Wednesday, the 9th of August, at least here in Japan, is Wednesday, the 9th of August, in the year 2023. My name is Devan, and I'm your host. And I'm happy to be back with you again for another episode. And today we're going to be talking about oppression. Yes, oppression, that sneaky little slavery that still exists in so many different ways, y'all. It is there, and many of you in bondage, and you still don't know. The website is sexdrugsandjesus.com. Check out our YouTube channel, Sex, Drugs, and Jesus podcast. We're on all the social medias, especially TikTok. Sometimes I put things on the TikTok channel I don't put on other channels because I just fucking love TikTok right now. My lingerie website is Down Under Apparel, baby. Check it out. God's kisses and blessings upon you for your support. So today, like I said, we're going to talk about oppression, that pesky little hamster wheel, like I was talking about in the other show that I released about the herd mentality, shows up in the form of oppression too. Towards the end of this show, I'm going to be talking about karma, and that part is really dedicated to my other queens out there, like me, who have had to, how shall I say, banish broken little boys from our past and things like that, and get away from all of that. And in the karma, this very karmic time that we're in right now. I don't know, like I said, if it's the super moons or these retrograde planets, I don't know. There's a lot of things that God is shifting through the cosmos, and just a lot of things are coming back up. People's ways are catching back up to them. Old people are trying to come back up into our lives. There's a lot going on. So, so we're going to be talking about karma in the ways that God kicks the ass of people who won't act right. And so if you were one of the broken little boys from our past, you might want to continue to be the little bitch that you always were and run from that portion of the show. Or maybe you might want to boss up and actually face your fucking truth for once. Who the fuck knows? Not our problem. But for my queens, I want to do that karma session to really validate some of the things that you feel. And also throughout the show, I'm going to warn you about like why you should not go retaliate against them. Let God get them. That's what karma is. He's going to get them in his timing. Don't go and sow bad karma into yourself by laying your hands on the motherfucker. Does he deserve to have his ass beat? Fuck yes. But don't you do it. Let God do it. That way you can keep your karma clear. And God is like that super nice teacher that we all probably had when we were in like the third grade or some shit. And the class just wouldn't fucking act right. It was that quiet, mousy, nice teacher. She was kind and patient and loving and supporting. And the class was just acting a damn fool. And she asked nicely, would y'all be quiet? Would y'all behave? She sat down and be still. Would you set your ass down and be still? And the class wouldn't do it. And suddenly she blew the fuck up and turned into this other being. This other side of her showed up that you didn't know was there. And then suddenly everybody sat the fuck down, like what she was saying. That's how God is. He's all nice and great. Y'all like to pray and manifest things and get shit from him. And quite frankly, disrespect him and walk all over him all the time. But when he gets tired of your bullshit, there's this other side of God, just like we all have. We patient till we not. But the thing about the Lord is like once the gods decide that the judgment has been cast against you, there's none that can deliver you out of his hands. The thing is permanent. It's decided, it's done, and you cannot escape it. And so we'll be talking about that karma session at the end. I mentioned oppression as a form of slavery. Now, African American people have been through a lot. I'm going to caveat here for a bit. Um, Slavery is a big problem. It's a problem when one group of people decides we're going to sail over here and fucking snatch these group of people from their home and then sell them up here and then kill, the indigenous people and shit. Slavery is a problem. The effects of it still ripples through the people of color's community to this day. Are we currently enslaved? There is slavery that exists in certain parts of this world to this day, sure. But, back in the United States where I'm from, these things should not be. should not, are not still happening. But the problem that I have with it is like our ancestors went through all that bondage, getting their asses beat every day and tarred and feathered and dragged behind pickup trucks and shit. And racism is very real. But the problem I have is that this oppression that prevails today is a mental oppression. It's a spiritual oppression. It's an emotional oppression. It's it's a grievous evil because they fought for us to be free, but yet so many people are still in a type of enslavement. It's kind of like, what was the fucking point? Because if you're not free in your mind, then baby, you're not really free. Like I said in the last show, people in jails and in prisons have more freedom and a sense of happiness than people running around out here on these streets for all the reasons that I put in that show. That one's called like herd mentality and something like that. Go look it up, bitch. But and I was one of the ancestors that fought and died and labored so that people that are my people could be free, and they're running around here a slave to Grinder or to their cell phones or to their sex or their lust or to their jobs or whatever, I'd be slapping you upside your fucking head as a spirit from the other side. Like, bitch, I did not go through all that suffering to come to get you out of physical bondage just so your bitch ass can go get in every other type of fucking bondage that there is. Th- th- what the actual fuck? And just in case you don't know, and some of the other ways that you might be oppressed and don't realize that I'm here to share that light on you today. As always, as always, darlings, this is what I do. I'm going to take this deeper here and talk about, everything's energy, everything's spirit. One thing that drives me up the wall, and I tend to and I get away from people who do this now, is when I'm with a group, I think is wrong if a group of any race of people is going to get together and talk shit about another race, be it white people talking shit about black people or black people talking shit about white people or whatever. Because the thing is like the devil is sitting back, playing everyone like a marionette and just pitting people against each other, understanding, honey, that the only competition you've ever had in this life is against yourself. The race is only against you and is not about what the fuck other people are doing like that. So hating this color or that color or meditating and hovering over what this color or that color has done to you is not wise. So when I've been in the house with a group of black people who want to talk shit about white people, okay, it's such a like a low vibrational energy the way that it's done. Like I said, racism is still real. What those people did still ripples through society today. I hate what's happened to affirmative action in the colleges and universities. I think that's bullshit. But the thing about it is, if you're going to fight that racial fight, then it needs to be done on the political stage, down at your local, community center. Call your fucking congressman. Do something about it rather than sitting in your home and talking about it. Because when you sit in your house and say, "Oh, white people are terrible. They're just fucking stupid." Is Karen full of shit? Fuck yes, she is. And the bitch needs to be set down somewhere. Okay. She really, really fucking does. But it's not going to help you to come up any higher in yourself if you're sitting in your house talking about how much you dislike a certain race. Because the words that come out of your mouth create your universe. They create your world. They create the atmosphere in your home. You're speaking negative things, and therefore you're going to get the words that come out of your mouth. When I watch people do this and they're talking shit about whatever race, and look, even back in the slavery days, not every fucking white person hated black people. Not all, not all of them. Okay. When I was in the military, some of my greatest advocates were white people because I cut against the grain. I volunteered. I did things other people didn't want to do. And then when I did those things, they wanted to be salty and become my enemies. It was the black people who went to the events that I would host, fundraisers, dinners, different things like that, and threw shade and was trying to talk about the food and say it was bad. And it was the white people who jumped on top of the desk to defend me. Yes, though, I've also been called a nigger. I've been called a monkey by white people in my day, but that was their problem, not mine. Okay. But when I'm in these rooms and like, I would accept this from my people, from my fellow Wakandans, y'all, if they would have taken the conversation from both sides of the coin, but they only ever talk bad about white people if they're going to talk about white people. But what about the good side? We got to see things from every angle. Otherwise, you're just a jaded, bitter, broken bitch. And you don't want to ever become a jaded, bitter, broken bitch because that's not good. And so, but I watch people's face change when they sit there in their chair or whatever, and they're like, "Oh yeah, white people, this and that." I can only talk about it from this angle because I've never been around other races talking shit about black people because, well, I would be right there in the room and they wouldn't do that. So this is the only angle. But I know white people who fucking hate their white ass racist families, and it bothers them to even be associated with those people in any way. Okay. And they are most certainly welcome to the cookout every damn time. Come on. Those are my white Wakandans they from East Wakanda. They from East Wakanda. And but I watch people's face change. And then they'll sit there and they'll just feed into that negative energy and talk shit. And it's like their face just contorts and it just reminds me of like anger and rage. And it seems like to serve up a temporary type of validation. And it's like they just feel like, I don't know, validated or empowered somehow because they just talk shit about white people. But that feeling is false at its core. It's false. It's not. And it really, really shifts the energy in the room and it takes it down. Why invest energy into an old fight? We're here living in reality today. Is racism still real? Sure, but it exists inside individuals. And they try to make rules and stuff to bring it back, but we not back in those days. Where people are like on the farm and having to like do what the man says and shit like that. So if you go into a business and they don't want you there, be it because you're black or you're queer or you're whatever, go down the street to the next fucking business, do what the Lord said do. As he was talking to his apostles, shake the dust off your feet, reject them, take your peace back and your goodwill, and take it to the next door over. We have too many different, avenues that we can go down to still acquire what we're looking for, to let somebody's negative energy and the hate that is within them pull us down. And for worse, for you to go back into your house and talk about this low level shit that pulls the energy down in your home. And then you wonder why you can't rest well at night and you don't have peace in your relationships. Hell, some of y'all got such terrible energy in your house. The fucking food don't taste like it used to. You gotta like be careful how you think, because everything you think and everything you speak creates the very life that you live. Yes, even your nasty little internal dialogues that you think no one hears and knows about. All of that shit creates your life because you sit in your house and you think about how terrible white people are, then you go out into the world wondering why they treat you bad. Well, you spoke that into existence. You literally manifested the poor treatment you get when you go out, as opposed to saying, you know what, people are going to start treating me better. Just say that shit. I command that people will start treating me better. I'm going to have a better experience with all races, and I'm going to stop seeing the world through color. Everyone's a soul. Everything is spirit. Everything is energy. So I'm asking y'all to please break yourself free of laboring in this fight against race because your ancestors died so you can be free, not to still be angry and bitter about what white people are doing. So, but Lord Jesus, help me, help me, help me, help me, because you don't ever, ever, ever want to give Karen power over you. If Karen can make you angry, if Karen can get under your skin, if Karen can affect your mood in any way, and when I say Karen, I'm speaking about the conglomerate network of every nasty ass really person in the world, whether they white or whatever, whatever entitled bitch you think she can just walk up in a place and run it just because she exists. That is Karen, and fuck her. 7 ways from Sunday. But if you can let this hoe get under your skin, that bitch has power over you in romantic relationships, friendships, whatever the dynamic, work, business. Be aware of those workplace narcissists out there. They're real. But if somebody can get an emotional rise out of you, they have power over you. These things must not be so, my children. You cannot let them do it. You cannot let them do it. And personally, I think that our ancestors, well, just give them a little bit more credit. Those were some tough bitches. They could take the lashings and the beatings and the outcussings and the rape and everything and the being boiled in cauldrons, watching their children die and shit. You know, but the people have done some terrible things in this world. People, as I say, are capable of unspeakable things. But shit, our ancestors were tough. They would have a right to throw shade at you from the other side for whining about the things that you whine about in this day and time, because y'all could not have handled that. Because all it takes now is a little insult. Somebody can speak one word to you and break your spirit. So people don't even have to talk. All you got to do is like walk into the room or see somebody on social media or television that triggers your insecurity, and that's all it takes for you to crumble and have a bad day. People ain't ain't tough as a fucking piece of cardboard, in this day and time. I just thought that I would give our ancestors their prompts and their credit and their flowers, and everything like that, and their crowns because they deserve them. They were very, very strong. People in this day and time are weak as fuck. And that's just the way it fucking is. All it takes is a word to make somebody cry. You even have to touch them. Words are real, they have consequences, and they hurt. But I'm saying, can you imagine a life where now you not only having words thrown at you negatively, but also you're getting beat? Some of us have lived that existence before. I have, growing up was tough, for me, but that's not to take away from people's hurt feelings over words. But I am saying our ancestors were very, very strong. And I do need you to get past being so impacted by the words people say. You have given people way too much control over you, way too much control. Just to remind you, as I stated in the other episode, true, 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 true joy is the gift of God. It's something only He can grant. It's not about being in the endless hamster wheel of constant motion. It must be manifested as joy and silence as you are before your Creator. Is the only way you will find peace and happiness. Think about like rich people. The shit that you're on that hamster wheel constantly searching for, more sex, more people to date, more experiences. That word gets tossed around a lot. Experiences, experiences, experiences. And tell me y'all trying to experience everything but spiritual enlightenment. Skirt. You're out of order, out of balance there. But rich people have everything that you wanted. They have all the sex. They could have a fucking orgy every damn night for the rest of their life because they have the money to afford it. They could have every drug. They could have everything catered to them at their fucking feet. They don't have to work another day in their life if they don't want to. And yet it's still not enough. They still have rich people who kill themselves. You still have rich people who are fucking miserable. I would say that it's abundantly clear that is not actually in the experiences and everything that you can do. Their lives of millionaires testifies this to us. It is not about abundance of riches and things and experiences and things you can do. There are people already living that existence, the one that you think you want, and are working so damn hard to hustle after. There are people who've achieved that and they're still not happy. There are people who have achieved that and they're still not happy. And you might say, well, they're different than me. Yeah. But I heard the Lord say in His word that He fashions everyone's heart alike. So that means that we are all different and unique, but we all want the same thing at the end of the day, which is peace, happiness, fulfillment. And for those who want relationships, you really want somebody who's a true champion in your corner. You want friends who really have your back. Okay. At the end of the day, we're different and unique, but our desires are aligned. And very rich people have already achieved the very things that you desire. And for many of them, it has not made them happy. So take a cue from them and stop and think about really what the fuck is going to make you happy. Because it's not those things and it's not those experiences that you accord way too much value to. Take a look and evaluate the way you spend your time in a day, in a week, in a month. It'll tell you a hell of a lot about yourself. We can become so busy doing that we become aware of just how much time is going to doing certain specific things. Okay. Be it on your cell phones, be it working, be it at the gym, Be it just sitting still and letting your mind float off into no fucking where. Be it contemplating rage and hateful things. Be it standing in the mirror and being overly critical of yourself. I'm gonna talk about those mirrors more later. You gotta be careful about that shit. But you see, I want you to behold something here. Behold, behold, baby, behold. It's not just what you're doing, but it's also the heart and the intention with which you are doing it. It's not just what you're doing, it's about your soul. Like, what do you really mean here? We got to learn to master our intentions in all areas of life, because God is judging not just what we do, but why. And especially, in the realm of sexual nature in this lifetime, in and of itself, we have got to master our own intentions, and we have got to master our sex drives and our sexual nature. Those two things, people have unchecked intentions and they're too wild sexually, and it has thrown the world into chaos because there's people don't really know why they're doing what they're doing. And then things like sex make people feel so good that they don't take the time to stop to give a fuck about why they're doing what they're doing. And so the beat goes on. And then you got to learn how to not be a master of your own intentions, but how to read the intentions of others. As people, you got to learn how to see what's there, not what you want to see. You got to learn how to see what's there and not what other people want you to see. In other words, you got to learn how to see through people's masks. You got to learn how to see through people's lies and see through people's manipulations. Okay. I'm going to go down this caveat of sex, and then we're going to get back on talking about the other ways that you're oppressed. I talk about sex a lot on this show, well, because it's the Sex, Drugs, and Jesus podcast, because that's in the title of the show. So we should be. Also, it's something that people have used to bring a lot of pain into my life and suffering, starting with my dad on down to the last. And it's a huge thing. Pornography is like a multi-gazillion dollar industry. Sex is like every fucking where. And so I could literally do a show a day talking about sex from a different angle and never run out of shit to say. But as the Lord gives it to me, I'm going to speak it to you, because I'm going to do what the Spirit says. So the Lord gives it to me, I'm going to say it. You are dehumanizing yourself when you deny key elements of yourself that make you a human. So what am I talking about? You are emotional, physical, mental, spiritual, all of those things. I'm not talking about compartmentalization. Like, say you're going to go to work and you had an argument with your significant other before you left, or your child, or the cat wasn't acting right, or whatever the hell the case may be. You don't go into work talking about that bullshit. No one wants to hear it. That's compartmentalizing. If you're sitting down to dinner with your significant other and you had an argument with your mom, but you got to handle the business at hand with your significant other, that's compartmentalization. Okay. That's healthy compartmentalization. It's not the same when you're doing things that require or should be requiring all aspects of you, and you're electing to ignore certain parts of you just so you can get your pleasure done. That is called self dehumanization. You're lowering yourself, lowering your value, and ultimately hurting yourself and tricking yourself. So this means, precious people, that even if you only say you decide to stop being a total slut, and only you want to sleep with maybe like two people, in a month, as you're evaluating your days, weeks, and months and seeing where your time is going. If your intentions weren't right, those people, if you didn't love them, if you didn't care anything for them, if you weren't fully present with them, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, all the ways that sex is supposed to be used, you wasn't wrong. You wasn't right. You did wrong. I don't care. Shit ain't right. Did you go in there to sleep with these people to contribute energy, or did you go in there to steal it from them? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. All you little witches out there, and subconscious little witches too. Cause you got some subconscious energy vampires out there too. I'm talking to y'all that I don't give a fuck what you think. You need to stop doing that shit. Not being fully present during self, let me say this another way. You're basically making like a zombie out of yourself. When you think about zombies, what are zombies? All of these damn zombie shows out there, I tell y'all this all the time. Stop watching TV for like pure superficial entertainment. Think about the spiritual message. Zombie shows are every fucking where. Fear the Living, Feel the Walking Dead, Walking Dead. You go to the fucking casino, Walking Dead slot machines, shit's every damn where. The Lord, the Lord is warning people about turning themselves into a mindless fucking physical husk while they yet live devoid of emotions. Okay, how does this come upon people? Sex is one huge way it can. A zombie has a physical body that works. Their bodies respond to stimulation. They don't feel pain because that part of them has been cut off. But if you throw something at a zombie, I think in one of the zombie shows, they could still like smell. So the physical stimulation is present, but they're devoid of emotions and heart and soul. So if you go in to sleep with somebody and you're like, well, I'm going to remove the emotions and the heart and the soul, and this is going to be I'm not even going to say it because it's just so fucking dumb. And I'm not going to bring those parts into the room. You just zombified yourself so that you can go in and have what in your mind you decided is only going to be a physical transaction. However, you don't have the power to change the dynamics of sex as you did not create sex. Period. You don't. That was God's idea, not yours. It's a spiritual thing at its core. You cannot make it just physical. Deal with it if you don't like it. And think about it this way. Some males can achieve an erection just like naturally. So like, I don't know, some dudes the fucking wind can blow. You can just like touch the tip of their fucking pinky fingers and shit. And that's all it takes for them to get hard. As a massage therapist, you know, you know, this would happen. And they told us about this in the ethics class when I was in massage therapy school. Like sometimes, a men are going to get hard. Women may get wet on the table. It's not about them being attracted to the massage therapist or wanting to get into anything inappropriate. It's just their natural body's reaction to stimulation. That's it. They're not aroused sexually. It's just something that happens with some people. In the ethics class, they told us unless they, reached their hand from under the sheet and were to try to touch us in an inappropriate way, we were not allowed, or it was not suggested that we should judge them, judge their bodies for doing what bodies do, be it you know, woman, getting wet or a male having, an erection. We were not to demonize that or to condemn them because in the state of massage, people get super relaxed. Sometimes they're asleep when all of this is happening. They don't even fucking know. But my point is, just because somebody has a hard dick or a wet vagina does not mean that they have to actually be emotionally invested in you to do it. Or even worse, they might even much hate your fucking ass and still go through the motions of sex. So I don't know. This makes me think about when I was a teenager and I just started getting erections, and you know there I am. What was I? Yeah, I don't know what fucking age, early teens or some shit like that. You know, cafeteria. You know, all of a sudden, whoa, what the fuck? What do we have going on? Well, hello. The fuck's going on down here? Oh, shit. Okay. So, shit, now I'm in sweatpants. I had on like purple fucking sweatpants. Everybody's getting up to go back to class. I started having erections and I'm all like, what in the fuck am I going to do about this? Okay. So I guess I'll get up, put like the tray right here. And fuck, I don't even have any books with me because we're going back to the same class. Oh, shit. If the I can assure you, the peas and carrots or whatever the fuck I was eating on that damn tray did not turn me on. Okay. That dick started to get hard is because it was time. And so, oh fuck, what an awkward day in my existence that was. Jesus take the wheel, but I made it. And so, but be warned, it's the Lord, I thank you. I'm so fucking comfortable with myself. took a long road to get here, but we here. Fuck, I love me. And but be warned, children, in the same vein, there are men and women and everything in between. Like I stated just a second ago, we're able to get physically aroused who will sleep with you while they are literally plotting your destruction. Don't mistake hot, intense sex for genuine concern about you. In fact, there is a study done somewhere that says like the energetic emotion of murder and like sex is somewhere like on the same wavelength. Be very, very careful, about who you do what with. People are very treacherous in this day and time. And some people, like I'm gonna talk about, they have very long games. People will lie to you for an extended period. Um, I'm actually gonna do a whole nother show where I'm gonna go into super, super duper painstaking and grave fucking detail. Okay, about how people will use sex to gain access to you and do you evil. Okay. If you go out there and you hear the warnings that I give you and you get your ass caught up in some bullshit, don't come to me asking me to release you from your shackles because I'm not going to do it. Because I done told you to sit down and stop being a hoe, to pay attention to your sexuality and learn it and to harness its true power, and use it in productive ways rather than just on your lust and incessant cravings. I think I have this coming up in another show too, but people who are actually really have strong sexual energy could be using that shit to like teach classes to help people who've been hurt through sexual abuse. They could alchemize that shit and turn it into very powerful magic in a way that could really help to cure illness and disease and sicknesses and like brokenness. When I say illnesses and sicknesses and disease, I mean like spiritually, brokenness in people and help to heal sexual wounds, people who have high sexual energy rather than using it to go have sex all the time or to date a whole lot of people or to do all of this. Like there are so many more things available to you if you would like expand your consciousness. And there's so much you could be doing. But anyway, and why am I not going to release people from their shackles is because y'all want quick release from pain and punishment and really anything that you find to be uncomfortable. And I really throw shade at a lot of y'all's parents for that. And I think I got that coming up later in episode 2. Y'all know I like to throw shade at parents. I do. Deal with it, parents, because you already know. We're just gonna leave it at that. Okay. Y'all want quick release from pain and punishment. And like I said, any fucking thing that makes you uncomfortable, but you want extended pleasure. Uh-uh. No, y'all will lay in bed with people for hours. Okay. Spend the whole weekend having sex. Do all this fucking crazy ass shit. But then when it's time for you to suffer, act like it shouldn't happen but for a second, if at all. No, bitch, you're not gonna have it that way. That is not a realistic approach to life. Okay. Like a fool who I used to be with in the past couldn't pray for an hour. That fool would look at me. I can pray for an hour at a time. I had to work up to it, but I wanted to work up to it. I chose to invest time in prayer and I got better at it. See how that goes? And he would look at me like I was fucking throw it off, for praying for an hour, but then he could suck dick for 2 hours without barely even coming up for air. There's something fucked up about that. But you get back whichever you invest into. I thank God I am a highly sexual person, but I'm more highly spiritual because I have chosen to be. And I understand that I can have both. God, spirituality and sexuality are not mutually exclusive, y'all. Remember, God created sex. He's actually the master of it. The world has just fucking corrupted it and turned it into this evil fucking all consuming vampire thing that it is. Yeah. You who are given to too much sexual appetite are actually being consumed by the very sex that you have, though you call yourself consuming others. The very intricate web that Satan has weaved for you all. Like I said, be warned about people who will set up extended relationships. They will do this with marriage, straight people, queer people, everything in between, men, women, whatever. It don't matter. These people will get married. They will have children, and they never even like the person. Let me be clear on this. I know people who have done this. I said they never liked the person. Not they were once in love with them, used to like them. Some shit went south and then they never could recover. From the beginning, they never liked the person. That makes that little 4.5 years I spent with the narcissist I cut off look like fucking cannon fodder and pebbles, bitch. I don't sit around whining about what happened because, bitch, I know it could be better. And also, I achieved great strength and power from all of the bullshit that he did. And then all the bullshit ass people back to my dad, too. I don't say thank you to those motherfuckers. I say fuck you to those motherfuckers and may their karma weigh heavily upon them along with the hand of God. But I might as well find the fucking silver lining, but I'm damn sure not going to sit around and whine about the shit. But that 4.5 years that I spent, it looks like nothing compared to people 10, 20 years married, children, families intertwined, family reunions, all this fucking shit. And the person sitting there didn't never even like the person they married to begin with. Woo, Jesus. Can you fucking imagine? But this sort of shit is real and it happens. Now, why would somebody lie? Various reasons. They'll do it just to get out of their parents' house. They'll do it to get out of another relationship they don't like. They'll do it for a financial or economic come up. You have some people, just as much as I'm a champion of truth and honesty, which is a great Sagittarian trait. I study the zodiac loosely, but when it comes down to the sign of Sagittarius, bitch, that is one thing that I embody besides my thick thighs, which I'm going to talk about later, is blatant fucking truth. Okay. I am married to the truth. I am not a perfect person, but I'm going to always fucking tell the truth because God is real. I'm going to have to face him one day. Truth it is. But just as sure as I'm like, truth it is, you got some people whose first language is lying. They wake up lying. They have lies for lunch as a snack and dinner, bitch. And then it's like lying. It's like English is a second language or Spanish is a second language. Or no, Japanese people are way too fucking strict and honorable for this type of bullshit here. I ain't saying nobody over here in Japan's full of shit, but it's hard to find. Very fucking hard to find, relatively speaking. I'll just say it like that. But it's like lying is their first language, and then whatever their actual dialect is their second language. It takes like some people effort to tell the truth. It's like you see them contort and twist and shit, and they like have to force it out. Bitch, I've been in relationships with people like this. You just got to accept the fact that these sort of people are on this planet. It's a mind fuck. I know. Honey, I just want to tell you, this is to my queens out there who've been hurt by these damaged little children, these little boys. If have you ever contemplated murder? But okay, I'm gonna let you know those feelings are valid. If you sat at the kitchen table and contemplated like Angela Bassett's portrayal of Maria Laveau from American Horror Story season 3. You need to throw me an American Horror Story season 3 coven party. Shit, when I get one of these days. She said, I can think of all the ways. So, wait, she said, I can think of so many ways in which I can dispose of you. you know, Ladies, and some of you men too, some of y'all dating ratchet ass women. But if you ever thought that shit, it's okay. I'm right there fucking with you. Do not fucking act on the shit though. Keep that shit to yourself, all the details of how you're going to dispose of his ass and take it to God. Leave it, leave it at his fucking feet. Don't, uh, because if you do that, something that physically hurt that person, then that shit's going to come back on you. Look, our karma's been cleared up from their bullshit. Let them have that shit, that fucking tragic ass karma. We got to get away from that shit. Untangle yourself from their energy. You are not short sighted, my queen. Those stupid ass people are short sighted. Because every time, they leave, the Diary of a Mad Black Woman, Tyler Perry's the Diary of a Mad Black Woman. I don't agree philosophically with Tyler Perry, but the way the Lord uses him in his movies, I can't fuck with that. That shit's good. The way he goes forth in his gift, great. I don't agree with everything that comes out of the dude's mouth, though. Diary of a Mad Black Woman, she was saying like, Like Charles McCarter in that movie, left a perfectly good woman to go run around with trash. Okay, short-sighted. And then when trouble came upon him, the woman who probably gave him intense sex and looked pretty and whatever left his ass and wiped out his bank account too. The Lord used that movie to warn you males about leaving perfectly good queens, okay, such as myself, to go do dumb shit because you're short-sighted. Mm. He reached for that life that he thought that he once had, and it wasn't there for him when he reached back. We queens are not short-sighted. We pray, we meditate, we think about shit. We're calculated, not cold-hearted, but we calculate the possible outcomes before we just go run off and do shit. Don't lower yourself to his negative ass vibration by going to hurt him. Okay? Don't do it because you are not short-sighted and you understand that you have a future that you still want to be happy. He is short-sighted because he left us, be it in mind, body, energy, or any type of way, to go do some stupid bullshit. Let him eat of his own ways. Okay. They had way too much dick in their eyes and too much pussy in their face to see clearly. This is not us. Forgive them. Let them go. Cut loose all their energy. Nah, we're not having that either, motherfucker. Because if you stay angry with them, that anger is gonna pull you down. It's like I was counseling against people being angry over racial issues. There's not really their battle to fight. It's kind of pretty much within your head if you keep it there too much. Um, don't let that anger go. Forgive them. I know they didn't ask for it. I know they never said they're sorry in any kind of meaningful way. Fuck them. You don't need that. Don't hang around waiting for an apology, bitch. They're just giving them power over you. Get on your fucking knees and pray. Pray to God against them all you want. Yeah, tell God all that anger and shit. Lay that shit out before the altar. Tell God about it, as they would say, but do not go and lay a hand on them and let that fucking anger go. That shit will eat you up from the inside out. Know that God has seen everything that they did to you, and it will get them in their time. That my karma section is later on. I'm gonna get very, very specific, then and it is what it is, and I'm gonna say what I have to say as I always do. God will is gonna send enemies among them to exact vengeance upon them. This has happened. This has happened. And he's gonna do other things to them too as well. But look, baby, just because they look like they got it together don't mean they do. And when I'm watching Dr. Ramani's channel over on YouTube, which is a great channel I recommend for anybody who's ever had to break free of a narcissist, or really any asshole in general, because assholery is not just for narcissists. There's all kinds of assholery in this world. Just remember these people, and Dr. Armani talks about this all the time. These people are masters of falsehood. They were cheap, low down, low life liars. That is why we're not with them anymore. Just because you look over at them and they have a new wife like 2 seconds after they left you or you left them, and it seemed like they have, they got the business or the house, that don't mean that they're happy. Mm-mm. That don't mean that. Not that it should matter to you, because you need to be concerned about you and your life path and not what the fuck they're doing. Because when they were with you, they didn't give a damn about what you were doing. When they were with you, they didn't want you to know what they were doing. Don't put energy into worrying about what they're doing now. They wanted to have their private, secret, other lives. Let them go have it, and all the curses that come along with it. And but they're gonna put on a mask. They're gonna try to make it look like they got it together because they don't want the world to know that they fucked up by fucking up the good thing that they had. So naturally, they're gonna go about the business of setting up a new relationship very quickly, or setting up new associates or whatever they need to do to make it look like they didn't skip a beat. Bitch, they not only skipped every fucking beat, but they done fell flat on their fucking face. But they, in their pride and hubris, the very thing that is gonna destroy them, they just don't wanna confess that they fucked up and get help. It it's really just that damn simple. Some of them, it's too late for them to get help because they've already been ensnared in trouble. And, ooh, mm, God, mm, Imma just let that go. I don't know what that was, an interesting feeling that just passed over me. But on this note, if you ever have the chance to have friends or lovers who are brutally honest along the lines of what I am, take it. Take it. Get over your fucking getting hurt every time someone tells you the truth, bitch. And just you would rather have a brutally honest friend or lover than a fucking liar. Trust me. And anybody who's not a total fucking truth teller is a damn liar. I don't care. If lies are something that's in someone's toolbox, they're a fucking liar. Get the hell away from them. There are no no. I don't do lies. I agree with God when he said, a liar shall not tarry in my sight. Get the fuck out of my face. I don't care. Yeah, that's a choice that person's making. And the interesting thing, it you would want somebody who's over the top and tells you the truth because you don't ever have to guess where you stand with them. You know what they like, what they don't like. If they fuck with you, they fuck with you. If you don't, they don't. Period. Blank. Done. People, especially covert narcissists, you have to watch this shit with them. They will sit there being super fucking quiet when on the inside they are like the from Star Wars, their internal dialogue is like the oceans of Camino, the water world. The oceans were never still. The whole world is in constant chaos and turmoil. The water is always being tossed about to and fro. That's how it is inside of certain people who harbor evil inside of them. They're never really still. And they have minds that won't keep still. They have energy that's all over the place and erratic. A lot of that's because of I would just say of all the other presences that are within them that they don't know about. And they overthink themselves into chaos and into despair, into oblivion. Okay. They overthink themselves into chaos and into oblivion. And then they have the audacity, the fucking audacity to turn around and blame other people for it. Okay. Mm-mm. I'm just gonna say back to them what they say in John Wick. Y'all know I love me some fucking John Wick. God bless Keanu Reeves and the person who wrote the original, I think, comic that came from. But one of my sayings from John Wick that I took away is whenever a stupid bitch in there broke the rules, went over the boundaries, that they didn't want to have, just did whatever the hell they wanted to do, and they ended up getting their asses killed for it, they would just say, "Thy life is forfeit by thine own hand." Period. You did this to yourself, motherfucker. Don't blame everybody else. You can, but ain't nobody believing you. Or, as they say in the book of Isaiah, let me take it back to the Bible, because y'all know I love my Jesus and my Bible. Thank you, Jeebus. Thank you, Jeebus. Hallelujah, tabernacle and praises. At least two times in two separate chapters in the book of Isaiah, he says, there is no peace, saith the Lord, unto the wicked. There is no peace, saith the Lord, unto the wicked. The way people say that this day is that there is no rest until the wicked or something like that, but that's actually not just a cliche saying, that's actual scripture. Yeah, there is no peace until the wicked. God's not going to let wicked people have peace. They want to keep running around and doing this and that and keep a revolving door at their house and have all this constant action to distract themselves from spiritual growth. Well, the Lord the Lord's going to kiss them with a very curse that they've wished upon their own life and left them constantly be in motion and never at rest, since they don't want to set their asses down and keep still in any kind of meaningful way. Spending the night holding some person you just met off the internet is not it's not keeping still in any kind of meaningful way. No, that's about meaningful, reflective, like that, paying attention to like your higher power, and things like that. And also not in the afterlife either. I wonder that if somebody, I'm not saying God told me this or whatever, I just have some sneaking suspicions that I haven't really labored before the Lord about, but just, you know, I just wonder, like if somebody is like a slave to their desires, they never master vice, whatever the fuck it is. And if they die and they go into the afterlife, if they carry those same cravings with them, There is a scripture that says that your works do follow you. Meaning when you die, your works do follow you. It means there's some sort of connection in between how we live here and how we live then. But the interesting thing is that if you were to die with cravings, be they sexual, alcohol, whatever, if you still have that craving, then there's no way you could fulfill it. Then I wonder if you would be like cursed to roaming with an insatiable craving for ever much time it takes for the world to end or whatever. I don't know, because if you die, there is no Armageddon. Like if you die now, Armageddon has not happened. So your soul got to go some damn where in the interim. And so I don't know. I don't know. I think about it, like fuck, what happens, you know? But the the interesting thing that on some level it just makes my heart flutter with a certain type of humor is, devils don't care about the very vices that they use to trick you. Where the demon doesn't care about sex or money or power or lust, but they know how to use those things to ensnare and to oppress humanity, though. But these things do not concern the spiritual beings because they know better. Like the Lord Jesus said in the resurrection, people are not married or given in marriage. So the things that humans are about are not things that spirits are about. But devils will use those things to trick humans, though, and make them more big than what they're supposed to be to people. So, baby, my queens, when these men have hurt you, I know I spent a lot of time talking about this. I still got to get into the oppression, the actual fucking oppression I'm talking about. But I talk about sex a lot because this is a huge fucking problem. Honey, my queens, place them in the category of trick no good. Trick no good. That's the best way to sum up all these trifling as it is. Just trick no good. Place them in the category of trick no good and walk the fuck away from that darkness and into your bright and shimmering, shining, bright, glistening light that was too bright for you to carry them along with. And yes, it's sad when we have to leave people behind. I will never rejoice over leaving people behind, but I fucking will if I have to because their ass is not right. Trick no good, trick no good. They will tear you down if you keep them around, and therefore, I gotta go. And I suggest you do the same and stop worrying about the motherfucking basic ass bitch. Um, how do you avoid this? You better be praying. You're trying to get close to God and learn at discernment. Learn how to still your mind and your spirit so that you could pick up on the subtleties and the minutiae that really reveal the truths about people that they're not actively trying to reveal to you. Minutiae shows up in certain flutterings in people's tones of voice, their eye movements, the way they look, the direction they look in when they say certain things, the very vibrations reverberating off of them. There's all kinds of like minute things that you could learn to discern in people, but you got to really learn yourself first and get still, in order to try to mitigate damaging people getting close to you. And when you do get away and your light shines bright, you're gonna have these little dark people trying to come up and try to get up to you and sucker your energy and your light away from you. Do not let them. But I have every confidence that my queens are gonna learn how to steal yourself, and we're not gonna let this happen again. No, we won't. See, there you go. You got the victory already. You're gonna keep it this time. Now back on this zombification of people when they like to go have sex and like to leave their emotions and heart and soul out of it. It's like you're splicing yourself. It's like how Voldemort did in Harry Potter. Yeah, fuck J.K. Rowling for being a turf, but she gave us gay Grindelwald, gay Dumbledore, and strictly speaking, a gay Draco Malfoy, a Scorpius Malfoy, and a gay whatever the fuck. Oh, Albus Severus Potter. 'Cause I went to go see that Harry Potter and the Cursed Child when the last time I was in New York on Broadway. And girl, was that show gay? Good lord. They need to come up with like a rainbow house at fucking Hogwarts, bitch. 'Cause that show gave me life. I was like, is this like cried in here? What the fuck's going on? And Dumbledore, fucking Voldemort, that cunt, when she showed up with her sequins on, girl, I was like, "Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am." When she showed up, that cunt, but but in the main story, Voldemort cut his soul into so many different pieces in order to try to protect himself from dying. He wanted to not actually die if he got killed, but he cut himself into so many pieces that he became something other than human. And then when he died, that whatever the fuck he had turned himself into was this restless little thing that could never keep still. When he actually died, he could not avoid it. Just be careful when you just say, "I'm gonna take my emotions and not pay attention to them. I'm gonna take my heart and act like it's not there. I'm gonna take that pain and not face it because I don't want to cry and feel it." You're zombifying yourself and turning yourself into like a husk of a person. You were meant to feel the emotion that go through joy, pleasure, pain, but all in balance, all in due time, and all in due season, and not all at once. You know, here a little, there a little, as it says in the scripture. Also, when you're doing emotionless, non-connected, non-spiritual sex, in my opinion, the way I have analyzed this in the spirit, you perform a negative hypnosis on yourself. So hypnosis is a form of hypersuggestibility, as we call it. The best example I always give is when you go to the movies, you're watching the dumb big titty girl run across the stage. Not every woman with big titties is dumb, but the ones in horror movies are, and that's what we want. That's what we expect to see every fucking Halloween. Don't change a thing, because that's what we want. But we know she gonna fall and get butchered by the boogeyman, but yet our hearts are racing, and it's like we're right there with her, even though consciously we know this shit ain't real. But that's how hypnosis works. It breaks through the subconscious because the conscious mind can only focus on one thing at a time. So the moment you throw another sense in there, and in a movie theater, you're in a seat you're not accustomed to sitting in, you're smelling the popcorn, you're hearing the sounds over a sound system you're not used to hearing. You have this huge ass screen. You have about 4 or 5 different systems in play already. Sight, smell, touch, taste, style. If you're eating the damn popcorn, you're smelling. You're in a total state of hypersuggestibility. Even if you're in your house, same thing. You're accepting the reality of this show you know to be false. And your body is responding to it like it's real. Your heart is racing, you're breathing heavy because somebody is not really about to die on the screen. That is hypnosis personified. In therapy, we use techniques to crack into to access somebody is a better word, to access somebody's subconscious. Then we repeat back to them whatever we've agreed to in therapy. And we work with mental health therapists. It's totally therapeutic, neurolinguistic programming, all in that same range. When you have sex, you are in a state of hypersuggestibility. Being naked and with people and having sex, or even if you're not fully naked or whatever, that is you at your most vulnerable in this life. You are in total, people have access to every part of your being when you have sex with them. That's why witches can very easily take somebody's energy from them, whether they thought they brought it into the room with them or not. It don't matter, bitch, it's there. Because again, you cannot rewrite the dynamics of a thing you did not invent. And so when you have sex, that is you at your most intimate, your most accessible, your most vulnerable, your weakest. I mean, you're just there. I mean, in this sense, weakness to me is beautiful because you're taking off your clothes, you're laying down your protection and your strength for this beautiful exchange you're about to have with someone. Okay. But if you do this and in your head, you're trying to tell yourself this is just going to be physical and nothing more. And what you're doing is training yourself that when you experience pleasure, you don't have to be fully present in order for it to happen. You're training yourself on a subconscious and subliminal level that you can achieve pleasure in this life without fully investing yourself into it. That's exactly what the fuck you're telling yourself, that you can go and do this thing. And sex is one of the most powerful things you will ever experience in this plane of existence. It is an intense emotion, especially when you reach climax. I'm going to do a whole intricate fucking blog about what sex and climax really fucking is, like in the history of it and everything, and the things that you open yourself up to during those times. And you fools who think that it's just a physical transaction have really put yourselves in a bad bind and you don't even fucking know it. Um, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that. They wouldn't be able to handle it. And but when you do that, you because you're experiencing and registering, okay, what I'm doing right now makes me feel good. I just had a positive experience and I did not even have to give all of myself to do it. This, my children, should not be so. This should not be so. So now you think you can go out and treat life any kind of way and not fully show up or give full effort and everything should just be all right. You're just gonna enjoy it. Nope, you just lied to yourself. It will not be that way, little biddies. No, it won't. Again, this is all on a subconscious level. Your subconscious, as we study, for those of us who have studied the mind and have studied hypnotherapy, understand that the subconscious is what really drives you. It's not your conscious mind. And it is not until you awaken and you learn how to read these subtleties within yourself will you be able to pay attention to what's really driving you. When you head out the door to go to the club, is it really because you want to drink or is it really because you're lonely and you want someone to talk to? Some of you might tell yourself it's really because you're lonely and you want someone to talk to. There are others who don't. you know, why are you really buying those clothes? Is it because you really need yet another outfit or is it because you don't like your body? Like there's a little like the subconscious is what I think I think it was like mm, 88% of the brain, and this might vary depending on which website you're on. But in school, I believe they did in hypnotherapy school, I'm pretty sure it was 88% of the brain is subconscious and then 12% is conscious. Most of you, most people, all of us are running on the subconscious mind until we awaken and we have greater access and awareness of our subconscious. This means that other shit other people are put into your mind that you don't know is there is what's really fucking running you. Okay, like Emperor Palpatine told Ray in The Force Awakens, he said, creepy ass old man, he said, I am every voice you have ever heard, and every voice you have ever heard. oh, Jesus. Fuck, if I ever was to be a villain, which I never fucking would, I would totally be a motherfucking the Sith Lord, and totally be Emperor Palpatine. They have better looking outfits, cooler fucking lightsabers. Shout out to the purple lightsaber made Windu. Power to the black ball men. Hell's fucking yeah. And the shit, Palpatine's fucking beast, motherfucking balls. Not to give him no credit because the bitch was wicked and evil and lying and wearing a mask, but damn, he took that shit to the nth fucking degree. It's like, fuck. But like he told Ray, the little Jedi in The Force Awakens, I'm every voice you have ever heard. That's God warning you to pay attention to the voices in your subconscious. And speaking of awakened, of Force Awakens, some of you have not awakened. That means you're not as alert and aware as you think you are. This is different from being culturally woke, not the same. Spiritual awakening is far more evolved than just being woke. Woke is just being aware to the world around you, which you need to be, and many of you are not. But being awakened is far higher than that. It's far, far higher than that. See, some of you went from your parents' voice inside your head as a child, which it should have been there and guiding you, rightfully so. And you skipped from your parents. you skipped from your parents, skipped to Tooly Dude right on over to social media, and you never found your own voice. Or you skipped from your parents to the voice of your supposed friends, or you skipped from your parents to the voice of your supposed quote unquote lovers. Uh, and I use that word loosely, lovers, because it's not real if it ain't spiritual. Fuck all that. And you never have found your own voice. Do you really have your own voice, or is it someone else's? Or is it something else's? There's a lot of malevolent forces in this universe that wish to control. There's a lot. You gotta be very, very careful as you go about this life. But see, we were all designed to grow and to change. Doing more of the same will not get you far in this life. Doing more of the same will not get you far in this life. But it's like people keep doing the same thing and they're not fucking happy. they try to rearrange it, and try to jump on the same bullshit garbage a different way. It, and they're not ever really fulfilled. It reminds me of that of what that boy said and what Oliver said in Oliver Twist when he walks up to the fucking, I'll just call him fucking slave driver, that mean ass man. He's asking for, I think, more porridge or some kind of food, whatever the fuck they were eating. He was all like, "Please, may I have some more? Please, sir, please." It's like y'all haven't had enough of the fucking bondage and the oppression and the chaos and the torture that your ways have delivered into your life. And it's like the shit that you do mimics the shit you used to do, not very distant from it. And it's like you just asking the devil and for more chaos and confusion. You're like, "Please, please, may I have some more? May I have some more?" And Lucifer is like, "Oh, abso-fucking-lutely." Fucking A. Fucking A. Fucking hell, Audi. Fucking hell. Thank you all so much for taking time to listen to the Sex, Drugs, and Jesus podcast. It really means everything to me. Look, if you love the show, you can find more information and resources at sexdrugsandjesus.com or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Feel free to reach out to me directly at Devanin at sexdrugsandjesus.com and on Twitter and Facebook as well. My name is Devanin, and it's been wonderful being your host today. And just remember that everything is going to be all right.